Hello, good morning, good afternoon, welcome. I'm very pleased to be joined by Rosilena Lindo, who is the Deputy Secretary for Energy at Panama and is going to be speaking on the 12th to the 14th of December at our World Hydrogen Latin America Congress down in Santiago. So welcome, Rosilena. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks to you. It's a pleasure to be here with you today.
Thank you. So Panama is obviously a country known for its canal. Indeed, you were just telling me you're working today on what is your Independence Day, and the canal was obviously a big part of the formation of the Panamanian state. So the canal is clearly a key link in the global shipping industry, and a key hub. So I assume your interest around hydrogen is based upon that huge, demand that you have for supplying fuel to the world maritime fleet. So maybe you could give us an introduction to how you're viewing hydrogen and the energy transition for fuels.
Well, as we have been experiencing for the last years, the energy geopolitics is changing every day. And when we start to thinking about the green hydrogen and derivative strategy for Panama, we started in 2020, actually. And at that moment, the amount of cargo that passed through the Panama Canal was 29%. 29 of the total cargo that passed through the Panama Canal was that, but in 2021 was 37%. And in 2022 was 38%, meaning that if, and I want to correct, it's not if, and as the world is moving toward a full decarbonization for 2050, the type of client that Panama has either one of the main economic providers in our country, we need to assure that we evolve and offer also another type of services for the users of the Panama Canal and also for domestic use as well. And that's why we have the vision to become the clean fuel supermarket for all the users of the Panama Canal for the maritime sector, but also Panama is an aviation hub, and we want to be the ones that are going to facilitate not only the production, but also the storage and the dispatch of this clean fuel in the middle of America. And having said that, this year, in July 2023, we officially approved the Panamanian Green Hydrogen and Derivative Strategy with 7 specific objectives. For 2030, we want to produce at least 500,000 tons of green hydrogen and derivative locally, but also we want to be offering to the maritime sector at least 5% of the total sales of energy, of bunkering that we call green bunkering for the maritime sector. And that means around 800,000 tons of clean fuel. And we know, and we are sure, we are betting on that Chile is going to be one of the providers of this clean fuel for Panama and for the users of the Panama Canal. We are also betting in the potential of Colombia, of Uruguay, of Brazil, of our Caribbean countries as well, of Costa Rica. And part of the strategy is to assure that we are building up as a Latin American region together in order to learn from the lessons of the electricity sector, to learn from the lessons of the hydrocarbon sector, and do it this time with green hydrogen, but do it right. Do it in a just and inclusive manner, assuring that the people that is involved will be growing with the technology. The capacity building process have to be built right now, not only in the private sector, not only with the people that is working in the institutions that have to pass a path of permitting and licensing the green hydrogen and derivative construction for the infrastructure, but also the capacity building have to be built in the knowledge of the population, of the society, of the communities that are going to be neighbors of this type of technology as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's big targets and early targets indeed. 500,000 tons domestically produced is obviously a huge undertaking. And I mean, we've obviously run, back in my previous roles, a lot of renewable energy events in Panama, and I remember it was a strong mix. What is the percentage of clean electrons in your electricity system already, and what are the plans like and space like for building out more renewable electricity in Panama?
Well, the clean electrons that are moving in the transmission grid in Panama is around the 81% of the total electricity production comes from renewable, mainly hydropower plants. We have 5% solar photovoltaic. We have also around 6% of wind electricity, and this is growing yearly very fast. From 2021 to 2022, the total capacity, installed capacity of solar photovoltaic in Panama doubled in just 1 year, and coming from the COVID crisis. So that's mean that, and I'm very pleased to say that not even the pandemic situation will stop what is going on renewables and what is going to be happening in our territory regarding green hydrogen. And just a policy comment for a policymaker is sometimes a bit difficult to see with our eyes what we plan to be already be implemented right away. And that is what is happening in Panama and also in whole Latin America. The inspiration that the different Latin American countries provide to Panama is part of our strategy as well. Right now, we are working with the Inter-American Development Bank in order to build a certification scheme for Latin America that is called the CertiLac, that is right now being under discussion in the Energy Week. And we are 10 countries that are aiming to standardize how we see, how we envision what is green, that green is really green, but also this scheme is looking forward to communicate with the ones that are being used in the European Union as well.
Yeah, and in terms of the, I mean, you mentioned the strategy and the idea is to have infrastructure built, I guess, on the Pacific side and the Atlantic side, or also in the middle of the canal, or how do you think it would be structured?
Yes, we have to build upon the infrastructure that we have already in Panama. We have fossil fuel free zones that we are going to convert this year also in free zones for green hydrogen and derivative, and create new areas to assure the provision of the right incentive to attract investment for the deployment of the infrastructure to produce and provide the green hydrogen and derivative. And the analysis that we are doing together with the World Bank is the creation of a master plan for the green hydrogen hubs in Panama. And yes, this includes one source of infrastructure in the Atlantic side near the areas of the Panama Canal, one group of infrastructure in the Pacific side near also the areas of the Panama Canal. But I have to mention that in the middle of the Panamanian country, there is a zone that is called the dry arch. And this dry arch have the best potential to produce photovoltaic energy at lower prices, because the solar irradiation there is the highest, and also to produce derivatives as the best prices as well. So those are the pre-feasibility studies that we are doing right now in order to provide freely, no cost, all the information to the investors that want to establish within our territory. But we don't have to wait for that to be ready, because we already, at the beginning of this year, finalized 2 pre-feasibility studies to produce green hydrogen, green ammonia, e-methanol, and e-kerosene in order to make the path easier for the investors. So if you want to have more information regarding the price, the location, the technologies, just have to write to the National Energy Secretariat, and we provide you these pre-feasibility studies as well.
Excellent. And I mean, in terms of the pipeline, I think you mentioned before, there is already a huge pipeline of projects in specifically, obviously, solar and wind, but you're already at 81% clean electrons. So clearly there's not a huge issue with, I guess, additionality, because these new projects coming online can then immediately move into supplying the green fuel sector. Is that right? Is that how you see the development?
Yes, more or less. And I have to say, if we want to meet our goals, not only for the energy transition, because the green hydrogen and derivative strategy is not a standalone strategy, it's a strategy from other 8 strategies that are part of our national energy transition agenda. And we are betting on the growth of electromobility, that in order to meet our electromobility goals, we have to grow the use of renewables in 37% up to 2050. And if we want to meet our green hydrogen goals as well, that one of those is that for 2040, we have to produce at least 2 million tons of green hydrogen and derivative locally. That needs a lot of electricity, clean electricity. We have to fourfold our clean capacity to do so. So we are betting on the new clean green jobs that the goals that we already set are going to be providing. We need more renewable energy in Panama, and also, and as I told you since the beginning, what happened in Latin America is key and fundamental. We expect to be materializing the interconnection with Colombia in order to have more renewable energy that can be used in Panama to produce green hydrogen and derivatives as well. And that's why we are happy to say that right now, under the process for licensing, we have a pipeline of around 3,600 megawatts in solar and wind that want to be part of our electricity market. And also we are betting on the growth of distributed generation in order to facilitate the process of ensuring that green is green, and that our future buyers of this clean fuel are going to have the certainty that they are contributing to global decarbonization.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, Rosilena, it's been fascinating talking to you. You clearly got your finger on the pulse, and Panama is obviously way ahead in terms of your plans and understanding of the market for clean fuels, and clearly the position that Panama has as a key node in global shipping is a huge advantage. And indeed, I can see that that you've seen this as an opportunity, that decarbonisation is clearly going to produce a big jobs opportunity for Panama to become a true supplier of green fuels that are produced in your country, as well as, obviously, as you mentioned, receiving both electricity and green fuels from other countries and from your neighbors. So fascinating to speak to you, fascinating for you to share that vision, and we look forward to helping realize that vision, and also meeting you face to face in Santiago, as I mentioned, on the 12th and 14th of December this year at World Hydrogen Latin America. So Rosilena, many thanks for taking the time out of your busy day, and indeed your national celebration of Independence Day. So many thanks, Rosilena.
Thank you very much. And I just want to add an additional food for thought. The role that the green hydrogens and the derivative are having goes beyond mitigation efforts. If we do really want to build resilient countries, resilient cities and communities, the way that we react through an impact of climate extreme events also brings a potential for the use of green hydrogen. If we want to reactivate rapidly, we do not need to use fossil fuels in order to provide services if we have the green hydrogen batteries and other type of technologies to bring sustainability and decarbonization to the adaptation measures that we have to take into consideration in our policy making as well. So I hope to see you very soon in Santiago and to share a little bit more with our colleagues that are going to be there. Thank you for the opportunity.
Excellent. Many thanks, Rosilena. Take care. Thanks. Bye-bye.